Okay, so the other day we tied a silver tube fly with a black head on it, and that fly was approximately 9-10 inches long, so whatever, that's 22-23 centimetres, and I was asked by a guy if it would be possible to cut that down to a 5-inch fly. So 5 inches is what, 13 centimetres or 14 centimetres roughly, so on a hook. So there's some considerations in that the materials in the previous one, like this is the sheep that was used for the head of the other one, so like that's going to be the full length of the fly, so it won't look right. So there's just a few considerations with changing materials to drop your fly down in size. So also I'm going to have to try and use a finer type of a tinsel. So I have here a 5/0 Sakuma Manta extra, and I'm going to measure out where 5 inches is, and that's roughly to this joint on my vise, so that gives me a marker to aim for. So we'll take our gel spun and put it onto the shank of our hook. Now, as before, I use the core of the fly as this crystal here. As I said, you can buy that in bulk off eBay. So before we just folded this over, or as I said, this time we're looking for a fly that's about half the length of that. So what I'm going to do is cut that bunch in two, and then I'm going to pull it past itself so that the ends are not just a block end, they're sort of like a bit of a taper to it. I'll take that out to that point on the vise there roughly, and then fold that back and put a turn over it, and then if I can find my super glue, glue my finger together. So other super glue. So now we're going to move forward making bunches of tinsel. As I said, the previous tinsel we used this wide stuff here, and if I put that on this one, I'm going to see how it gets on, but what I think I'll do is probably incorporate some of this tinsel into it, but I'm going to use finer mylar tinsels as well to build this up with. So I'm going to take spools of tinsel here. This is a much finer tinsel, maybe 0.5 millimeter, 1 millimeter kind of stuff. So I've got 3 different spools of it. And what I'll do is I'll set them on the ground, and I'll take the 3 strands of it as they come up, and I'm going to wrap that around my hand, as you may have seen happening before. So I have the 3 strands in my hand, and I'm going to wrap that round and round and round my hand. It takes a bit of getting used to, but eventually you'll get onto it. And then snap that off, and I'm left with this bunch wrapped around my hand. So I'll pull that off and I'll have a circle. Now if I cut that, I'll end up with a hank of mixed silver, much finer sort of mylars. So I'm going to take half of that bunch, and I'm just going to pull a few fibres of it out again to get me that sort of taper. set that on to our hook, and I could double that back, but what I'm going to do is something a little bit different. I'm going to travel that forward a bit, and that will shorten it a little bit more for me, and this bit in the middle then I will take some silver dubbing and dub over this section here. And at the front of it here I'm leaving a little bit of a ball of it so that when I put this on, fold it back over itself, it'll act to support that and kick it out a little bit, gives a bit more volume to the body. If there's any fibres trapped, just nick them off. And now this bit here, I'm going to add a little bit of glue just to that, hold it back. I'm going to take a little bit of my white or silver stuff and put it in here. So I'm just going to, for lengthwise, I think we'll double it and then probably double it again. And then I'll pull those two bunches past each other. A little bit fiddly, and get that tied on just in front of this one. I said I don't want to overload it with this heavier tinsel if I can help it. Fold all that back and tie it on. And then we'll put another bunch of the finer silver tinsel on there. We'll do the same, take that previous bunch and double it, pull one bunch past the other slightly, and we'll tie that in because we want the fibres to be getting shorter and the bunches possibly to be getting closer together here to get us that bit of bulk and therefore that sort of like teardrop shape towards the front of the fly. Pull all that back. A little bit of super glue. We'll go with one more bunch of each and then put on the blackhead. Take a few strands of our heavier silver stuff. Double it again, set the two bunches misaligned, make another little bunch of our lighter tinsel stuff. Wrap it around the hand, break it off, pull off the loop, cut that, again double it, cut it, set the 2 bunches at a step. Fold it back. Set that with glue. And now, as I said, for the head, the previous one we used this sheep. You could use the sheep, but you'd have to cut it away down. So we'll maybe put in just a little collar of that at a shorter length, just as a sort of like a support for the next one. As I said, rather than using it full length, we're going to have to cut it. Way down, splay it out, let it wrap around the shank, put on a loose wrap and tighten it in. Separate out all those fibres and push them back. A little bit of super glue and just hold that in place, just to give us that sort of conical shape. And then the mane of the head we're going to make up with black fox, because it's shorter and it's also more mobile, given that we're in a smaller fly. So I'll pull a bunch of that out, turn it around, cut that off. Now, you can see here, I'm not tying it in right across the root of the bit that I cut off. I'm leaving this maybe 1 centimetre or so here, and that gives me a cone. A bit more bulk. Throws out when this doubles it back, it'll give it more bulk to that head and also more density to the colour. So we now fold that back, take our thread through underneath here, and finish the fly off. I was using a white gel spun with a black head, so I'm just going to take a black marker and colour the gel spun, and then we'll pull this back and add a little bit of super glue just to set the gel spun, and also it'll just seep into the first little bit of the head there and hold the shape for me. Now when the super glue's on it, I can cut the gel spun. Because there's very little friction if you cut that before, it has a tendency to fray and release, so that's the reason for doing that. So once we have the super glue on, we'll just brush out the fur on the head, and that's the fly itself tied. We now just need to put on eyes, so I'll look for an eye that fits. We'll go with a silver eye. I think we'll go with that, which is an 8mm eye. with their own adhesive just to see what it looks like. And that's what our fly is going to end up looking like. So we're going to set them on with Evo-Stik Serious Glue, which is this stuff here. And you just need to wait a while until your super glue dries before doing this, otherwise it should react with it and discolour it. But take a blob of the glue, put it on the back of the eye. I set the fly up on its side so as I can see where it's going, and I push the eye down into the blob, and I'm hoping to get a little lip of the glue coming up round the eye, so that helps to hold it, stop it from delaminating. And do the same on the other side here. I just check it for distance. Push it in. And just shape the glue that little bit. There we go, our silver black-headed pike fly, but this time at 5 inches, or 5 to 6 inches there, on a 5/0 hook. Just as I said, we were doing some considerations with regards reducing the size of a big pike fly.